Being a fan of the University of North Carolina comes with all the smoke. We understand this. Anytime somebody comes to play our Tar Heels, we know that they're going to give us the best shot that they possibly can. No matter what kind of team it is, whether it be a Power Four, Group of Five, doesn't matter. They're going to come to Chapel Hill and they're going to play the best game that they possibly can. And their fan base is going to be extremely rabid behind their team. And when this happens, it causes for some pretty cool rivalries and it causes for some back and forth, but it also causes for some fan bases to be a little bit more hated by us as Tar Heel fans, because you get some of those that are just a little out there, that talk a little too much. And God forbid if you get upset and you get beat or you get beat bad by a team, they want to always chirp, chirp, chirp every day on Twitter, on the YouTube comments, on Facebook, on this, that, and the other thing. It causes just for a tremendous time as North Carolina fans. And we obviously understand that we have our hated teams in the ACC. We have our rivals Duke and NC State, and we have our ACC rivals, teams that we face all throughout the year. But today, I want to give you, as a North Carolina Tar Heel fan myself, my top 3 hated teams. We're not even going to hit the rivals. We're not even going to hit the ACC. We're going to go outside of the ACC and the rivals. And what are the top 3 teams that I, as a North Carolina Tar Heel fan, cannot stand? I'll be curious to know what your top 3 is down there in the comments below. Be sure and hit that. Also hit that like button and the subscribe button if you are excited. But first, let's actually start with some honorable mentions, because we're going to go 3 to 1. But let's hit our honorable mentions first. The ones that didn't quite make the list, but I thought would be pretty good. Also, first off, this has got to be the first one. And this is really all about one person, and that is Ole Miss. I can't stand Ole Miss because of one reason and one reason only. That's Lane Kiffin. I think I speak for not only North Carolina fans, but fans of college athletics and college football as a whole. This guy, Sir Lane Kiffin, loves to be heard. He loves to have his voice put out there, and he just has a comment for each and every little thing that happens. He's just annoying. He gets on my daggum nerves. Lane Kiffin is he's a wannabe good coach. He's had some pretty awesome teams, hasn't really done anything with them, but he masks it and parades it by bringing in some pretty good recruits. It's just he gets on Twitter and he doesn't shut up, and he's always got the world is against Ole Miss and this, that. No, shut up. You just need to go learn how to win meaningful football games, and then maybe you can talk a little bit more. But yeah, Ole Miss is got to be on my honorable mentions. Thought about putting it up here, but it's just one guy. It's just Lane. Lane's just an idiot. So yeah, Lane Kiffin, if you're an Ole Miss fan and you like him, God bless you, buddy. But yeah, I don't think anybody in the national world really cares for that guy. My next honorable mention, someone we had to put in here, a team that we had to, just because of 2012 and what they had to do to my boy Kendall Marshall, and that's Creighton. We obviously understand what happened there with the injury in the tournament, which hurt, and that was a painful time. I really liked Kendall, and I think he could have. I think that team was going to win the national championship. I think all of us were in agreement there as North Carolina fans. And Creighton is just, yeah, we can't stand Creighton because of what happened there, and that is that's never going to go away. That's never going away. Creighton just dirty. It just, yeah, Creighton, yeah. But here we go. The top 3. Number 3 on the list, and this one is also relatively because of one person as well, but this dude keeps showing up and they keep beating North Carolina, which makes this even more ridiculous. But that is the Alabama Crimson Tide, and I'm zoning in right now on Nate Oates. This guy, ever since he's become the head coach for the Alabama Crimson Tide, he's done a good job. Give him credit there. But one thing I can't stand this dude. For some reason, he has some type of love affair with North Carolina. Unfortunately, Carolina's had to play Alabama 3-4 times over the last few years. Back in the season after the national championship game when they faced up there in Portland, Oregon. Once again in the NCAA tournament, the Sweet 16, they were the team that sent us home because that Nelson kid went absolutely freaking bananas. And then again this past season in Chapel Hill, where they just came in and absolutely destroyed us. Nate Oates gets off on getting over North Carolina. He absolutely loves to clown North Carolina if he can. We made little comments. The most famous one, obviously, being the one where them fellows in Chapel Hill, they ain't got practice tomorrow. Just all this stuff. You can tell that Nate Oates gets off on, and he just gets up and gets excited anytime that he gets to go up against North Carolina. And unfortunately, he sent North Carolina packing the last 3 meetings that they have faced with each other. But their fan bases rally around Nate Oates. That is for sure. I can understand why. And listening to them and the Alabama fans that we've had come into the comments, and we've covered and did post-game reactions to those games, it's just been a flipping annoying. And Alabama, you got to give them credit. The fan base over there, and I think Nick Saban created a lot of this. They are a cult, I tell you that much. Not as bad as Texas A&M, but they are definitely a cult, and they follow right behind him. But yeah, Nate Oates, I can't stand that dude. He's a smug, arrogant prick, and I just can't stand that guy. So yeah, Alabama. Number 2. And this team, God, their fan base is absolutely ridiculously annoying. You see this every year in baseball, and the last couple of times in football, they got us, and they got us bad. And it was in the bad years of the Larry Fedora time, and it absolutely is aggravating and just frustrating that we don't have them on the schedule. That way we can right those wrongs, and also that they just don't ever shut up. They're very NC State-esque, and that is East Carolina University. ECU, the Pirates. I can't stand these people. I used to actually really like East Carolina until I started getting around their fan base and seeing their fan base on a day-to-day. They think that they are hot stuff. They think they are, just like NC State, they think they are the kings of the University of North Carolina and the state of North Carolina, for that matter. And here's the thing: ECU not only does this to us, but they also do it to NC State, which I think is absolutely hilarious myself. So it's good to see that it's not just us, that they go crazy for NC State too. But North Carolina, a number of years ago now, I say a couple of years ago, but a number of years ago now, lost the JMU level loss to East Carolina, and they have just not let that thing go since. I know East Carolina fans, and this is not a lie whatsoever, that legitimately have a counter in their room. If they're watching this, I know I'm talking about them. They're probably cackling. But they have a counter in their room about the last time that North Carolina has beaten them in football. It's something that they update every single day. Think about that for a second and get back with me. East Carolina fans, they love this whole little deal with go to Walmart and get your Walmart gear. I don't know why they do that. I don't know if they're just really upset that, the biggest supermarket / market in the world is, what wants to carry North Carolina gear instead of theirs. I can understand why. They're gonna put stuff in there that's gonna sell. Hey, North Carolina is gonna sell, not East Carolina. But their fan base is just annoying. They're absolutely aggravating, and they think they are the best thing since sliced bread. And they've had some good moments. They have had some good moments, especially in baseball. They're actually really good in baseball, pretty consistently. In North Carolina and ECU always play a series against each other. So thankfully, North Carolina took care of that problem this year in baseball. I look for them to continue to do that. But East Carolina, man. Yeah, can you guys chill out for a minute? Go win a national championship. Go get to the World Series. Go, I don't know. Go win your conference. Do something. I don't know. You guys are getting on my blessed nerves, and I can't stand them. But before we get into the number 1 pick, the number 1 team that I just can't stand, and I think a lot of other North Carolina fans will also agree with me. But tell me, who's your top 3? I want to know who your top 3 is. Who's your guesses for my number 1? Don't skip ahead. Tell me right now what you think. Who's my number 1? Who could it be? And in 3, 2, 1, I'll tell you. That's the South Carolina Gamecocks. Now, South Carolina, I'm a South Carolina native. All right. I am born and bred inside of South Carolina, right here at the border of North Carolina and South Carolina. My family is from North Carolina, which is where the North Carolina Tar Heel ties come from. My brother was born in North Carolina, up there in Dayton, North Carolina. and I was born here in South Carolina. But hey, nevertheless, as a South Carolina native, we always see this, going to school, it was always, when rivalry week would come, South Carolina versus Clemson, South Carolina versus Clemson. And I have saw both fan bases my entire life. I grew up around them in the heart of South Carolina and Clemson territory. I'm about a midway, something like that, I'm about an hour from Columbia, about 3 hours to Clemson. So you see a little bit more South Carolina fans than you do Clemson fans. But it's pretty evenly split, to say the least. But ever since I have saw a South Carolina fan, the only word I can come up with is just delusional. I tell you, man, they believe. Again, this is very similar to that of NC State. They do believe that they are the best team in the country every year. And when they don't win, it's because a ref screwed them over or the other team was cheating or what. They never look within. Even when they're 2-10, they're just like, oh, well, that's it. We would have been 8-4 if the refs wouldn't have screwed us. They just think that they are the best thing ever. They've been getting destroyed by their rival in Clemson for a number of years now. They finally won 2 over the last 3, and they think that they have arrived. They think they own it. Shane Beamer is fit perfectly into what South Carolina is and their fan base and who they just adore. They adore this man, and he buys into all this junk, man. That South Carolina is great. There's nothing better than South Carolina. He even posted a thing yesterday or 2 days ago now it was an AI image. It was very poorly done, by the way. He could have picked a better AI image than this, where they got a recruit over, I think it was NC State, and it was a gamecock in the background with the outline of the state of North Carolina, and he posted that with the little this deal here, the whatever they want, the cock call or whatever the flip they call this thing here, and the South Carolina fans just ate it up. They was like, oh yeah, we're the best in Carolina, even though they completely just ignore that North Carolina schooled them in football, beat them in basketball, baseball. That's a good series back and forth between baseball. I got to give them credit there. They got a good baseball team. They love Dawn Staley. Dawn Staley gets on my nerves too. I can't stand her. And she's a good coach, really good coach. Let me throw that out there. She's a really good coach. I just can't stand her mannerisms and the way she acts around people and the way she kind of looks down her nose at people. I can't stand them. And South Carolina fans are always just like, I remember this past offseason when Bill Belichick was going after running backs. He looked at that Fajon kid, the one that evidently is going through a similar issue to that of Tez Walker. Hope he actually gets his eligibility, by the way, like Tez Walker did. But he committed to South Carolina over North Carolina, and there was mentions all over here saying, "Oh, look at that, we've got over Chapel Bill and this, that, and the other." They just think that they're crazy, that they're good, they're crazy, they're delusional, and sometimes you just gotta come. There's one thing about rooting for your team. I root for my team. But you gotta look down. You gotta be more realistic about what you got going on here. Can you win something first? Can you appear and win your conference championship games? Can you do that? I mean, can you do something? Outside of women's basketball, which you've done very well. Can you do something? I don't know. That's just me. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. Who's your top 3 teams that you hate outside of the ACC and outside of rivalry games? No rivalry teams. And no ACC teams. Who's your out of conference most hated ones? These are mine. South Carolina being number 1, ECU, Alabama, with the honorable mentions of Creighton and also Ole Miss because of Lane Kiffin, who's just annoying, dude. I don't know. I want to know what you guys think down there in the comments below. Maybe we can do the flip side of this. Maybe we can do the top 3 teams that I actually like and I actually root for outside of the ACC, and I don't ever cheer for rivals because what the flip would you do that for? I don't know. You tell me. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. And as always, go Heels.